Good morning, everyone. How are you doing today? So, again, it's Doing It Scared Wednesday. So, just a reminder that when I tell you it's Doing It Scared, it's like the first time I've done one of these, so I'm really scared. Primarily in the beginning, I just don't like being recorded. I don't like seeing myself up front, but I do love doing these. So we will continue to do those. And today we are going to make some mini door hangers. So what I mean by that is, I've done the big door hanger before. These are going to be little ones, right? So I've got two different ones I'm going to make. I'm going to make one that's like a greeting, hello, which could also be, you'd put somebody's name on it. And then one of my designs for fall paint parties. It's the kitty cat and there's going to be a moon. So that's what we're going to be working on today. There's a lot of ways you can do a lot of these different things. Now I bought these. These are 4-inch rounds, pine rounds, and I got them off Amazon. I did get a pack of like 50 or 150. I can't remember. I have a whole bunch. They also come with these great little pieces of twine. So when we're done, oh, it's not pre-cut. I thought it was pre-cut. We can go ahead and put through the little hole here and have a hanger for it. Okay. So I'm going to put that aside. Let's go ahead and get started. And again, with the way my camera works, y'all, I'm just using my phone. It's all I've got right now. So I apologize if the picture's not the best. I don't see comments because now I'm going to be moving the camera. So let's go ahead and flip and get it all lined up. Need to check to see where it falls. Okay, oh my gosh, let's try this a little bit. Okay, I think that's better. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, I like that better. So, we're going to start with the hello first. Now, one thing I did do, I used my pencil and I put my design down. I did use a fine line Sharpie because when we're working with these smaller door hanger thingies, when I do a large canvas, we typically do the background first and we paint around it. Well, these are so small, I'm going to be painting over it and we'll show you that layering technique. So I wanted to make sure that I'd be able to see the lines through a layer or two of paint. So then I use my fine line Sharpie to go ahead and outline everything. So this is my hello. This is the one we're going to do first. This to go. So I'm starting with this Paradise Green. And then I have my Desert Turquoise. I'll show you all these colors on the palette as soon as I get them on there. I got to remember to take small amounts because, of course, this is really small. This is my Citrus Green. And then I'm going to put in a little Wild Berry. So I've got 4 colors going here. This is going to just make the background. Okay, so you can see all 4 of those colors. Nice bright colors. Reminds me of spring. I should be doing fall, but as you guys know, I don't like fall colors as much. So I made this in a large door hanger. So I decided I'm going to make it a little doorknob hanger. So this is fairly easy, the background. Okay, I'm going to start with my Desert Turquoise, putting just a few lines here and there. Then I'm going to move into the Paradise Green. And look I'm just doing brush strokes. And that's basically how this background is made. I'm going to do the citrus now. I'm not even wiping my brush because I want these colors to come together. And I'm going to add a little bit of pink last. So I'm just going to alternate between these colors. And look at how it's starting to just kind of blend on the brush. And this is actually what I was going for, was these blended turquoise colors. If you've been with me before, you know that I really am not one that is going to be really precise. I love to create, but I'm impatient. So if you're joining me for the first time, just know that I am not one of those people that is worried about getting everything perfect. If I were, then I'd be in trouble. Okay, now let's go ahead and add some color here. Again, I'm just alternating these colors. You can still see that black fine line Sharpie through there without a problem. Again, just doing, and then I'll do a few little spots. Okay, so this is generally done. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull some strokes through. And this kind of makes it blend a lot easier. You can see now I'm not getting any harsh marks of where one stops and the other goes. Pulling it through. And now I've got my colors there. Now I do want to add just a hint of some pink in the background, because I'm going to actually be making the letters pink. So I'm going to do a few little spots with my liner brush. Just like that. And then I'm going to come back to this brush and pull it through. So you can see we start to get those shades in there. So when I do go in here and make this, you know, that my letters are pink, then they will be picking that up. So as that dries, now this is something that you do have to wait for the layers to dry, and it dries quickly. So that dries, what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean my brush, and I'm going to do the background for the City Cat. Now for City Cat, there will be, I'll be using, for the background, we'll use a little bit of white. Let's see, I'm looking up at the back there. A little bit of white. Come on. A little bit of the sunny yellow, my favorite yellow. And a little royal blue or primary blue. Okay, so now these are the three colors. I'm going to do the background. Okay, I'm just going to be doing above where the pumpkin lines in these buildings and around the cat there. So you can see this little half shape of a C. That is where my moon is going to go. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is make the outline of my moon with the white. Just like that. So just a half C. And then I'm going to use the liner brush, this little one, with the sunny day. I'm going to put another C, a small C in the yellow. See that? So it's going to start blending this yellow and this white. And the rest of it is going to be shades of blue. So I'm going to go back to this. This is where it can get tricky. I don't want it to be this dark, so I'm going to pick up a little bit of this blue. I'm going to move it over here. I've already got white in my brush. And you can see the colors coming out a little bit lighter. So I'm going to make this a little bit lighter. So you can see just kind of smushing it there. I don't even have to fully blend it. I'm going to come in and do the inside of the C, and then I'm going to go around the outside. Just like that. Now, I'm going to use just my white. So I didn't pick up any more blue, just white. And I'm going to start to blend the outside edges. And see how it's picking up that blue from before. We just keep doing this round and round till we get what we like. I'm going to do some more. So it gets lighter as we go out. And so you can see here, like the brush is really doing all the work with the blending. We didn't have to pre-mix. And go down into all these corners. All right. And you can see now it's getting a little bit more difficult to see the lines underneath. Once this dries, it'll be fine. And I want to blend some of that. You saw that it picked up part of that yellow. Again, I'm wanting to just make sure that we have a good blend. It's okay if some of that yellow comes out. I went ahead and wiped off my brush. I'm going to pick up a little bit more white. And now I'm going to blend in this yellow, kind of moving backwards with the white. So this is that glow of your moon. A little more white right here in the front. Blend. And there we go. That's ready. Doesn't have to be perfect at this point. Now, the next thing that we will do is we will fill in these buildings down here, and that is going to be a gray color. We don't have to do varying degrees of gray. So I'm just putting one tiny little spot on my palette. As you can see here, I'm going to pick up this bit of white over here. I'm just dipping the tip in there because I don't want it to be a dark gray. So you can see what it's making here. This should be enough paint to do all those buildings. If not, I'll just mix a little bit more. And we don't have to be super careful. We're just making the building lines. And that's, again, why I have some of that, as you can tell, the black Sharpie, so that when this dries, I will know where to put in my black lines to get all of this together. And again, you don't have to be precise on this. Let your brush do the work. We'll clean up edges momentarily. So for me, this is a little dark still, but I'm going to pull up, I put just a little white there, and I'm going to just breeze some whites in there. Give it some streakiness. There. So you've got some natural shading there, okay? So we're going to move this one back here to dry and come back to our hello. Okay. So I'm going to be doing the letters at last. What I did have, I do want to put like a floral pattern down here real quick. I'm also going to be using, for that, probably some of this dark blue, or the primary blue, and possibly some of the yellow. But I want my first flower here in the middle to be this pink color. And I'm just doing C motions. Like that. Now I'm going to do, let's see, I think I'm going to do the primary blue on either side. I don't know. You know what? Let's see. right, I just made a new color. So what I did is I picked up just a little bit of the desert turquoise and a tiny bit of the dark blue. I'll show you this in a minute. So there you go. And that's going to be the base shading for my two other flowers. And I'm just basically making little circles because all of this is going to come down to using your liner brush and layering color. Okay. All right, so I wiped the brush off. I'm now going to pick up my liner brush and I am going to, let's see, I'm going to take a little pink with a dab of black. So I'll show you that because I just really want a little bit darker pink color. And as you can tell, that little dab, we need a lot more pink. There we go. And I might add a little dab of white. Let's see. Okay, so I'm getting like a purpley maroon color. And I don't love it, but I'm going to use it because I'm really only going to need to do a few things on here. See where these, so we have some of the brush strokes that are already drying and some that are wet. So I'm going around this flower where the brush strokes are already dry. So just like that. Now I'm going to wipe my brush again. And I am going to use the dark blue or the primary blue straight from the thing and go ahead and do some of those motions and on the little flowers. Again, a lot of these are just little C motions. And I mean C as in the letter C. Cute. Okay, I'm going to keep working with the flower. I'm going to go in with the desert turquoise on these blue flowers. Just add a little bit of shading. In between where I've put the other color, my mixed color. And notice these are all colors that are up here in what I've already done. Okay, so I'm going to now wipe my brush again and I'm going to add some of the desert turquoise, this brighter green, and I'm just going to do just a tiny bit here and there. Glare sometimes makes it hard for me to see where I'm putting stuff down. All right, there's that. Okay, I am going to pick up some of this desert turquoise again, and I'm now going to work a little bit on my pink flower. And this one, this is the bigger flower. I just am really trying to get different tones and textures in there because I will pretty much go over this again with the pink. Okay, so you can see there, I have a couple of little flowers going. We have the hello there. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this liner brush and I'm going to fill in the hello. I want to use that pink color, so I'm going to turn this upside down so that I don't stick my hand in there. And you can still see those black lines. I'm just going to, as carefully as I can, I'm going to fill in where I have my black lines. And I am going to connect. I don't want this space there. So I will show you, this is the stencil that I used for the letters. You can get smaller ones. I don't ever do freehand letters because I have horrible handwriting and I don't like the way it comes out. So I just got that at Hobby Lobby because I didn't have one with letters this small. If I was going to do, like if I wanted this to say welcome or, you know, hello fall, anything like that, I would have to get a stencil with smaller letters. Obviously, this will only hold about 5. So there you go. Again, if I wanted to put somebody's name, I would have to, figure it out based on the size of the letters. So if this is going to be a Courtney, obviously I would have to find a much smaller stencil. But again, that's also why I do everything. I do outlines and pencil first. If it doesn't fit, then I can erase it and start again. Once I get what I like, I use my Sharpie fine tip to go over the pencil drawing, the pencils. This is coming out so cute already. This would be a good project, like, it doesn't have you could put a magnet on it. It doesn't have a magnet, but you could go ahead and put a hook like on your dishwasher and it could say clean and dirty. You could do something like that. You can make a banner into these by maybe making each circle a different letter and then stringing them together. I'm gonna put these on just some doorknobs in my house, just kind of seasonal, that I can switch out, just to add a little flair here and there. I'm not a big seasonal decorator, but something like this I could easily do and then feel confident about. Now you may be seeing, as the pink over there is drying, you can still see some of the paint and letter Sharpie underneath. So this is going to be a 2-coater, and this is already mostly dry, so I'm going to go ahead over into my pink again, and I'm going to do a second coat. If it was all really wet, then I'd let it dry for about 5 minutes, but this is dry enough to give me that solid pink color that I'm looking for. If I wanted the pink to be even brighter than what I've got here, a good tip is you could paint in the letters first with white and then do about 2 coats of the pink over. It's going to give you more like of a brighter color, it's kind of like a neon in that way. So it can be a really nice effect. I don't know if you guys have had a chance to look up, but I do have some kits on sale now at www.passport-creative. I have 2 listed. I have the autumn blue door hanger kit, and then I also have a dragon egg kit. So give you a quick look. This is one of the dragon eggs. It's just a small planter, and I am actually using mine as pencil holders. I have 3 that I've made now. I made 1 in pink, 1 in red, and 1 in deep blue. I really love painting them, but I don't really need that much more, so I don't foresee doing, I'd love to do one in a dark purple, but again, I would have to find somewhere to put all of them. Also cute for a little like a succulent or even a small plant. Okay, so you can see that I've turned back around because I'm going to come back into these flowers now, and I'm going to go with pink. I'm still with the pink, and I'm doing another layer of C's kind of on top of some of these other colors. So they're just like a hint. It's breaking. You can see me keep doing this because I'm looking to see my placement. Okay, and I like that. And I think my placement with the blue flowers is fine. I did clean my brush, and now I'm going to do some black in there just to kind of finish it off. I'm I'm gonna do this with all of them. If you've been with me, again, you know I like to outline things in black. The trick here is I have to be really, really careful because it's so small, I could make these way too big. And lose my shape entirely. And I do like the black. I am going to soften it with some more pink here in a minute. I think it's fine with the blue. If I had just a little bit smaller brush, I would probably tend to use that, but so I do see that is drying. I am going to do, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do some swirlies out from the flowers. Yes, and those swirlies, that is a technical term. This is fine. And these are kind of like branches. I'm going to use this end. I'm going to put a few dots on my skinny end to add a little bit of whimsy. And I do see, I want to do one more coat of this pink. So we're going to do one more coat of that pink. And then we'll do our final touches and this one will be done. So I'm going to go ahead and put this pink on. We're going to let it dry. We're going to go over to the little city cat scene. As you can tell, these paints dry really quickly, which makes it really nice if you need to do multiple coats on something because you feel like it just needs to be more saturated. Okay. And I do know this is upside down and you're seeing it because I'm working on this upside down. Also, these colors kind of remind me of Monet, water lilies, Van Gogh. I absolutely love the Impressionist artists. Van Gogh is one of my favorites, as well as Monet. Just the soft colors. I also like Van Gogh's really does a great job with a lot of bright colors. And I, in a couple of weeks, will be going to the Van Gogh Immersion event in Tampa in a couple of weeks. So I look forward to sharing that with you. All right, so this is going to dry. We're going to move this one to the back. I'm going to bring this one back down. Now, again, we are primarily going to be using our liner brush. So the first thing that I want to put in here, you can still, it's light, but you can see the lines of my cat. So I'm going to continue with the black. I'm going to go in and fill in my black cat. Following what I already put in, or traced in, I should say. It's the hat. Because it is fall and Halloween, so we're putting a witch's hat on them. You don't have to do that. You could just put some cute ears if you want. Okay, and you may see through this right here, there's a pencil line. That is because I need to put the tail of our cute little cat. I want to fix this right over here. And there we go. So that is our kitty cat. Now, I do need to add some black lines through the gray part. So we're going to just very briefly set up our building lines. Everything's more of just a hint. We don't have to do anything real bold. I'm going to move this so I can see it sideways better. This is the big building. Another fat building. So there we go. So I will be doing more with this later. Put a little here. Okay. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to work on the windows here. You do see we have room for our pumpkins. I'm going to do those pumpkins probably last because the most time-consuming part of this one is doing the windows. So there is no rhyme or reason. So I'm going to be using the white and the soft yellow. So first, I'm going to go through and I'm just going to put little tabs here. So I'm also gonna change directions. So these are the windows in the building, okay, that are lit up, so to speak. And you can see I'm leaving gaps because I don't want every window to be on. And it's just no rhyme or reason. Probably thinking, that doesn't look like building at all. Wait till we get done. I tell people all the time, especially when they come to my paint parties, it's like, don't give up. It is going to transform between right in front of your eyes, and you will be happy. And 9 out of 10 times, that's what people agree. They were like, oh yeah, I do see it's coming together now. Almost done here. Okay, so now I'm going to use my yellow, and I'm going to accent these. I'm going to turn this way so I can see it better. And I'm kind of right over what I just did. I'm just putting a little bit of yellow that's supposed to be the glow of the lights. And it doesn't matter if it goes outside the lines. And then I'm going to add one that's just yellow. So again, randomly, just however you prefer it. I'm going to do this one there. Now you can tell instead of just a bunch of white spots, it is starting to look like a building with the lights on. One thing when you're doing miniatures, you have to really change your brain up. Let me do one right there. So that you let loose of being super, super precise. Because when you're working in a smaller area, it's going to look a little different. And you're looking at, again, just pretty much making an impression of what you want. And you may, when I had the camera turned up, you may see it. I have this painting on the wall behind me. It's one of those that I didn't think, I was like, oh, people will like this, I'll just do this. And I didn't think I'd care for it too much. But when it was done, I think it's the cutest thing ever. So I really enjoy it now. Now, to make this really stand out, I need to put together another gray color. So I'm going to mix, and it's going to be a very light gray. In other words, I'll show you here in a minute, just wanting to get rid of the harsh tone of the white. And I'm going to add some more accent lines underneath and above where these are supposed to be like windows. Also, go ahead and do a little more of an accent here and there, lining the buildings. Making sure that kind of, again, it's that hint. Okay, it's coming together nicely. I'm not going to say it's perfect and I love it. I definitely would practice a few more times if I were going to try to do this as a party. But for my personal use, I love it. And I definitely will be having this hang up somewhere. Just to remind me that it's fall, because I forget. All right. And going back with just a little bit of black. Just in some of these, again, these are those little details that will help set everything apart. And I've tried to flatten my brush so that I'm just literally barely touching, and it's giving me that little, because I don't want this to be super clunky or anything, but I do want to have some, again, more, not highlights, but outlining, so to speak, kind of, to give depth. And it's not everywhere, it's just in a few places. Okay, I think this right here, this black is a little bit much for me, so I'm going to soften it just like that. So it's so easy to do. All right, so we got our buildings. They're kind of messy looking. That's okay. All right, let's go ahead, and I'm going to pull out some pumpkin spice, or spiced pumpkin, because it's that season. There you go. And now I'm going to go ahead and put together my pumpkins. And I've already got the outlines there. And yes, it's supposed to, this pumpkin is supposed to be sitting on the top of this building. here. Sorry, I keep turning it, guys. But I do this a lot sometimes to get a better view angle. All right, so the pumpkins are there. They're gonna need another coat and some definition, but it's looking good. So I'm gonna let this dry and we're gonna come back to hello. Okay, now the one thing I haven't done is I haven't put any lighter tones. So I'm gonna pick up a little white. Again, everything I'm doing right now is with the detail brush. And I'm just gonna add some little bits of brightness with the yellow. With some white. Okay. And then I don't like it as much as I thought, so I'm picking up a little pink. I'm gonna blend it like this. It's becoming more of another pink. I like that better. And just a little here. So yeah, this is definitely the tricky part when you're working with smaller. So now what I want to do is I want to outline my hello. I'm going to do it with black. So I put it in the paint and then I rolled my brush to give a fine tip. Let me go ahead and show you that. So I'm going in here, picking up some paint. See how much paint's there? Now I'm just going to roll my brush and that gets me that finer tip that I need. Plus gets the excess paint off. Now I'm not gonna be super worried. I'm not gonna be able to, I know my hands tend to shake, so I know this won't be perfect by any means, but I'm okay with that. And pick up more paint and roll my brush as needed. It was a little heavy on that side. That's okay. Give myself some grace. Okay, really kind of flubbed up there, but I can go back and clean that up. So I'll show you that. I wish I had done the E as well as I had done the H, but we'll clean it up. I thought this would be cute too. This is something, I don't know if you guys, what your high schools do, but I know like during homecoming and stuff, kids decorate their lockers and then they have special things for seniors. This would make a fun little locker tag. You could put like their school colors when they're getting ready for homecoming. Maybe they want something seasonal, and maybe you make a few for the seasons. I don't know if you can see this, but the key here is you gotta be very light with your brush. If you put too much pressure, that's when you're gonna get these globs like I did over here. So let's go to the inside. Now the outside. There we go. Great. Now I'm going to clean up. So I rinsed out my brush really well. I need to clean up some of these spaces. I'm going to clean that up. Primarily this hello needs some work. That hello, yeah, sorry, that E. That's what I meant to say. There you go. Notice how that's just covering that up. Just a quick little stroke, this one. Okay, I didn't think it was going to be completely, it's not completely dry, but all right. Now I want to, again, just do some interior accents. What I'm going to do, I'm going to use this little teeny tiny dotting tool with my black paint. I'm just going to put some fun little dots here, just to make it, again, add some whimsy. And when I do this on a large door hanger, I don't do the little dots, but I'm doing that here because it's smaller and it just, I think it needs a little something. So I'm gonna do little dots. No rhyme or reason. Cute. All right. So believe it or not, this one is done. All I'm going to do is have to put a quick clear coat on it, which is just Mod Podge, just to seal everything in. But this one is cute and done. Now let's go back to our kitty cat. All right, so our kitty cat needs, we're almost done with this one. So I'm gonna not rush, but I wanna make sure we get it finished for you guys. So I do see, I wanna fix the tail a little bit. Okay, there we go. I'm going to go ahead and do the pumpkins again. Now, normally, again, when I'm doing a large canvas, I'm not going to just do a solid color pumpkin, but this, again, we have less room, so we are going to be putting the shape together using some black paint and just kind of outlining. So I'm going to let this dry just a little bit. Clean out my brush. And now I'm going to pick up a little bit of white, and I've flattened my brush. I want to do some accents around our little kitty here. There's our little kitty cat. I'm gonna add a little bit, some with the moon. This is kind of reminiscent of doing a Van Gogh with just slashes. So I'm wanting to really just kind of give this a night feel. I'm going to pick up some of the yellow. Kind of giving it cosmic glow, so to speak. go back in now, doing the same kind of thing, but just a little bit of this primary blue. It's always hard to know when you've gone too far. So don't beat yourself up if you have that problem as well. All right, there's our little pumpkins. The last thing we're going to do is outline our little pumpkins. It's 11:51. I'm going to be in and out under an hour. So let's see. I want to be very careful. Again, I'm just very lightly touching the edges. See, and there I messed up. This is where it's hard. But again, I can go back and I will touch it up with some of that orange. Keep moving it. And normally I would do some accenting in the center for the ridges, but this is so small. And this is the only, you know, this, I don't have a smaller brush. So I would really need a smaller brush. And yeah, see, I don't like that. We're going to cover that up. We're just going to outline these. I'm going to use my black, give it a little stem. Great. And I'm going to go back in with some orange on some of these, just to kind of give a lighter feel. I just made some of these just too wide. So you can see I'm just going in and I'm cleaning up on the inside using the orange, and you can see some of the color of the black is coming out. I'm not really worried about that. That just adds another tone and highlight. I am gonna swipe my brush so it goes off to the side. Do a little there. And there you have it, guys. 2 little doorknob hangers, or whatever you choose to use with them. You could put in happy fall, whatever you want, but I think they're really cute. They just need to have, again, the Mod Podge put on them. Let me go ahead and let's do this. I want you to see, because I have my drop cloth that's kind of messing up with you seeing the lines there. So I'm going to put this on my black book, and you should be able to see these much clearer now. Yes, so there you have it. It's all done. 2 little different door hanger ideas, or doorknob hangers. I'm going to go ahead and switch the camera. Hello. All right. So I hope y'all had a great time. Again, anytime you see one, if you like what you see, please just drop me a comment, say hello. I really like to know who's watching, and I would like to get to know you better. I want to know more of what you want to see. Again, I thank you so much for being here, and I will see you again next Wednesday where we're going to do it scared. Thank you.